Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you've been enjoying this series so far. In this video, we are going to pick up where we left off, and I will show you how to add stray hair to character's groom. It's going to be very exciting, so let's get started. With stray hair, you may find this a bit tricky because if I go to modifier, there's no slider, there's no option for stray hair, and it needs to be done through expressions. Now, I will show you how it's done with embedded tool inside XGen, and I will provide you with an exciting, easy to use expression that I have written via my Patreon page, and I will show you how to use that as well. Now, the way that it works inside XGen with no custom expressions is by using a modifier as a container. Now, the modifier I would like to use is definitely noise. So we have noise 1, so let's go to the modifier tab and add another noise. I'm gonna go OK. Now, the way that I would like to work is to turn off the previous noise so it's not over the top, and just focus on stray hair and see how I can achieve that. Now, with stray hair, if I go to description, I have set stray hair percentage. Click on this, I get this, it's set to 0. If I put any number in there, it won't make any difference because I haven't plugged the expression that I need to use to any channels. It reads or looks for stray open close parentheses, and so far we don't have that attached to any of our attributes. I believe the best attribute to target is mask, where you can just randomize the distribution of your strays. So I'm gonna go in here, open it. We have a value of 1 to begin with. Now, what XGen would like to see is stray and open close parentheses. But that's not enough. What you need to specify is more of a conditional statement, where if you have a stray hair, then you take the percentage. If there is no stray hair, it's going to be 0. The way that you do it inside XGen is through question mark. And then you say, well, conditional statement, if it's a 1, then apply the percentage or any value for that matter. You can just replace this 1 with a variable and define that variable and play around with it. You can have even little expression within this and say randomize 0.2 to 1, but for the sake of simplicity, we are going to just assume that it's just a integer, just 1, and then semicolon. What if it's false? It's 0. By the way, this needs to, there should not be any gap in there. You should make sure that it's set blue. When it's blue, it means that it's a keyword. It means that XGen is going to understand it. If I put a space in there, all of a sudden, this is no longer an expression and you get an error. So make sure there is no gap in there. So that is going to work for us if we have stray hair, basically. So true, false, look at it like this. So I'm going to go apply and then close. And then we have the expression here. Now we're ready to add percentage to our noise. Now I'm going to go to description. I'm going to go set stray percentage, and I put, I don't know, something like 20%, and all of a sudden we see we get some changes in here. It's not very well defined because my frequency is way too high and my magnitude is way too low. So let's start with 20% as my percentage, but I'm just going to go and maybe lower this to 0.1, and maybe I increase my magnitude to a higher value, something like 5. And now we see that we are getting some stray hair. I can just zoom in and you can see we get one here, we get one here. I can even tweak this magnitude scale and to intensify, and there we have it. You know that they're all showing up now. That's good. That's better. Now I can even go and crank up 20%, and you can see that we are getting some stray hair. I can even crank it up to something like 8 to really intensify the effect. Be brave with it. I'm gonna enable noise. Of course, it's a bit much at the moment. I can definitely lower it to something like 15% and maybe reduce this to something like 0.01 and reduce my magnitude to something like 6, so it's not out of control. I can go to my noise, maybe lower my noise to something like 2.5 and get some really cool looking stray hair. So stray hair, getting it is you know, it requires trial and error, and that's how you do it inside XGen. Now, I've provided you with an expression. If I get rid of this noise and start with a brand new noise modifier, the second way of doing it is through manual expression and not to rely on this set percentage. So I'm just going to zero this out and show you how I do it with my own expression. So I'm going to go to expression, load expression, and load other. And this expression for stray hair will be provided to you via my Patreon, so feel free to download it. But basically it gives you a percentage for stray hair and it gives you randomness for that. So I'm going to again make changes to my frequency, set it to 0.1, increase my magnitude to something like 3, or maybe I'm gonna go with a much higher number and just dial down this stray percentage. Now you can see, if I zoom in, I'm getting stray hair all across. I personally think it looks much neater. The good thing about this, you deal with just a slider. You can just increase and decrease the slider, and if you like to randomize and get a different result, it's more like a seed. You have access to this beautiful magnitude scale, and you can kind of lower it and have it well controlled. So I can actually do that, bring this over here, so it's not volumizing the entire groom. It just pokes some stray hair out. That's more like it. I'm actually quite like the amount of stray hair that I have. You can even reduce it to something like 10 and you get a much better result. All right, here's a quick look on how to create stray hair using description set stray hair percentage expression, or through my own custom expression, which is available on my Patreon. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and apply it in your own projects. We are going to talk about shading and look dev and lighting next, so stay tuned and see you guys soon.